Okay, now we're ready to practice some more factoring. In this problem, we have an x to the fourth. What are we going to do with that? What you really need to do, whether you actually write it out like I'm going to, or know that this is what you're doing in your head, I'm going to let's get a different color here. Just so that you can see what we're doing, I'm going to let m equal x squared. Well, if this is x to the fourth, then if m is x squared, you square that to get x to the fourth. So this is m squared minus 2 x squared. Again, x squared is the same as m. So that's 2m minus 15. Now, some of you, it's going to be very helpful to write it out like this. Others may be able to do it without actually making the substitution, but it should be helpful. So, you should be able to factor this. It's a trinomial. I'm going to put an m there and an m there. That says the signs are different. So I'm going to put a plus there and a minus there. I need a product of 1 times 15, which is 15. And that tells me I need a difference of 2. Now, if you don't understand what I just did, I've taken care of that. Go back and look at factoring trinomials. Probably when a is not equal to 1. Here a is equal to 1, but the others are a little harder. So product of 15 and a difference of 2. Well, 5 times 3 is 15, and 5 minus 3 is 2. So those will work. Now remember, when the signs are different, you have to pay attention to where you're going to put the numbers. Because that's a minus, I know that the larger number goes next to the minus sign. So the 5 is going to go here, and the 3 is going to go there. Now, don't forget, we did not have m's in our original equation. So you can't leave the m's in your answer. If m is x squared, then what you have is x squared plus 3 and x squared minus 5. That's a plus. I told you when you have a square and a plus in the middle, you can't factor it. Not unless you're using imaginary numbers. This also cannot be factored. If this was an equation we were solving and we needed to take care of that, we would end up with a square root as our solution. But usually when we're factoring, we're using real numbers. Real rational numbers. Okay, let's look at what we've got next. This next one, we're going to use the same thing we had up here when we do a substitution so that the exponents look smaller and it makes it easier for us to handle. We don't have to panic as soon as we see the problem. Okay, so we've got x to the 6th minus 26 x to the 3rd minus 27. So in this case, what we're going to need to do is let m, and I'm using m just because, of course, I need a marker that works. it should be easier for us to work with. We'll let m equals x to the third. And it might take you a minute to think about it, but you should be able to realize that x to the sixth is simply x to the third squared. When raising a power to a power, you multiply the exponents, so x to the third squared is x to the sixth. But x to the third is m. So what we really have here is m squared minus 26, again, x to the third is m, minus 27. I'm going to put an m here and an m here. This tells me my signs are different. So I'm going to put a plus there and a minus there. I need a product of 1 times 27, which is 27. And that tells me I need a difference of 26. Well, how did we get the 27 in the first place? We took 1 times 27. 1 times 27 is 27, and 27 minus 1 gives you 26. That first sign, which is a minus, gives me the sign of the larger number. Well, 27 is definitely larger than 1, so the 27 has to go next to the minus, and the 1 goes next to the plus. Now we have, remember, m was x cubed. So I have x to the third plus 1, and this is x to the third minus 27. To save room on my board, I'm going to write 27 as 3 cubed. 1 is the same as 1 cubed. So here I have a cubed plus 1 cubed, and here I have, well, or a cubed plus b cubed, and this is an a cubed minus b cubed. So remember, here my a is x, and my b is 1. So we have x, same sign, plus 1, times x squared, change the sign, and then I have 1 times x, which is x, that's my a times b, always positive, and 1 squared is 1. In the next one, again, my a is x and my b is 3, so I have x, same sign as minus 3, times x squared, change the sign, that gives you plus 3x, plus, and b squared is going to give you 9. And that is the final solution. You could check these to make sure that they're not factorable, but they're not. Here you would be looking for a product of 9 that has a sum of 3. That's not going to happen. Here you would be looking for a product of 1 that gives you a sum of 1. It doesn't work. So this is the final factored form. You have 4 factors. And let's see what else I have here. There is one more that I'd like to do. It is another one where we have to factor by grouping. And we haven't done a lot of factor by grouping. So let's look at this one. We have x to the 6th plus 2x to the 4th minus 16x squared minus 32. There is no greatest common factor. That has no constant, and that has no variable, so there's nothing that will go into all of them. So the first thing we're going to do is put in our parentheses. And as I walk away, hopefully some of you are thinking, no, you can't walk away yet. I just got a different color and a fatter one. That's a minus. When that's a minus, we have to change that sign. And since it's already a minus, we're going to change it to a plus. So it's very important. If you didn't remember that, start remembering it. You're going to look at this. Well, this has a 2 and that doesn't, so you can't factor out a 2. This has 6 x's, this has 4. So I can take out x to the 4th. When I take out x to the 4th, that's going to leave me with an x squared plus 2. Here, the minus in. That has no x's, but I can take out a 16. And if I take out a 16, that's going to give me x squared plus 2. There's an x squared plus 2 and there's an x squared plus 2. So I can take out x squared plus 2. That leaves me with an x to the 4th here and a minus 16 there. Remember, when you have an x squared plus something, you can't factor it. Not with a real number. So that's going to stay x squared plus 2. This is the same as x squared squared minus 4 squared. So it's an a squared minus b squared. It factors into x squared plus 4 and x squared minus 4. We're not done yet. Don't stop. That's got a plus. We can't do anything with that. But that's an x squared and a minus 4. That's going to factor into x plus 2 times x minus 2. And don't write it like that. I wrote it like that just to save a little bit of time. You have to write down the complete answer, which is x squared plus 2 times x squared plus 4 times x plus 2 times x minus 2. You end up with a lot of factors, but if you do it step by step,